Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that has chilled the bones of many in Southeast Asia for generations. Have you ever heard of the Jenglot? These tiny humanoid creatures, rarely longer than a few inches, are often found in remote areas or buried deep underground. They look like tiny mummified humans with long, flowing hair, sharp fangs, and nails that never seem to stop growing. Most people treat them as cursed talismans or powerful artifacts of black magic. But today, we aren't just talking about what they are, we are talking about something much more disturbing: the rumors of them multiplying. To understand how a Jenglot could possibly breed or add to its lineage, we first have to look at its biological mystery. Science says they are just clever fakes made from animal parts, but spiritualists believe they are the remains of powerful shamans who were rejected by the earth itself. They don't eat food, they drink blood, and it's this very consumption of life force that leads to the darker legends. Collectors have reported that their Jenglots occasionally seem to change position, or more frighteningly, that the energy in the room begins to split, as if the creature is preparing to become two. The ritual of feeding a Jenglot is not for the faint of heart. It requires human or goat blood, usually offered in a small bowl once a month during specific lunar cycles. In the darker corners of the occult world, it is said that if a Jenglot is overfed, if it receives more blood than it needs to simply survive, it begins to undergo a horrific transformation. The leather-like skin starts to soften, and a strange, pulsating mass begins to form near its chest. This is the first sign of what locals call menambah keturunan, or adding offspring. It's a supernatural mitosis that defies every law of nature. Imagine owning one of these entities and waking up to find a small, bone-like splinter lying next to it. At first, you might think it's just a piece of the wood or a broken nail, but over several weeks, that splinter begins to sprout hair. It begins to develop a face. The horror of a Jenglot adding to its kind isn't like a normal birth. It's a slow, agonizing growth of a new curse. This new entity is said to be hungrier and more aggressive than the parent. The air in the house grows heavy, and the scent of iron and decay becomes impossible to wash away, no matter how hard you scrub. There is a famous story from a village in Java where a collector boasted about his Jenglot's power. He claimed his wealth grew every time he fed it. But soon, he noticed his pet wasn't alone in its display case. A second, much smaller figure had appeared, intertwined with the hair of the first. Within months, there were three, but the cost was high. The blood he provided was no longer enough. The collector began to look pale, his skin sallow and his eyes sunken. It was as if the Jenglots were no longer just drinking the blood he gave them, but were feeding on his very soul to fuel their reproduction. The atmosphere during this process is described as sejuk yang mencekam, a gripping, unnatural cold. Witnesses say that when a Jenglot is about to multiply, the local animals go silent. Dogs won't bark, birds stop singing. The house becomes a vacuum of sound. Some believe the Jenglot is calling out to the spirits of the unborn or the restless dead to inhabit the new vessel it is creating. It's not just a physical duplicate, it's a new house for a malevolent spirit. The more they grow in number, the more the veil between our world and the spirit realm begins to tear in that very spot. But why would anyone want this? In some dark circles, having a family of Jenglots is seen as the ultimate status symbol of black magic power. It means the owner has enough spiritual strength to sustain multiple demons. But the reality is often much more tragic. Most owners find that they cannot control the children. While the original Jenglot might have been bound by a ritual, the new ones are wild, chaotic, and driven by a primal hunger. They don't just stay in their boxes, they crawl. They hide in the rafters. They watch you from the shadows while you sleep, waiting for their next meal. Getting rid of them is even harder than obtaining them. You can't just throw a Jenglot away. If you try to burn them, The smoke is said to carry a curse that blinds the household. If you bury them, they find their way back. And when they have multiplied, the connection between them is so strong that you must dispose of all of them simultaneously in a very specific ritual involving salt, white cloth, and flowing river water. If even one offspring remains, it will eventually call the others back, or worse, start the cycle of reproduction all over again from the remaining blood on its fangs. So, if you ever find yourself tempted by the allure of the supernatural, or if you're offered a rare artifact that seems too small to be human but too real to be a doll, remember the legend of the breeding Jenglot. What starts as a curious conversation piece could turn into a nightmare that grows, literally. These creatures are a reminder that some things in this world are better left undisturbed, buried deep where the sunlight can't reach them. The hunger of a Jenglot is eternal, and a family of them is a debt that can never be fully paid in this lifetime. Thank you for joining me on this dark journey into the world of the Jenglot. It's a fascinating, if terrifying, part of our world's hidden lore. What do you think? Are they just stories, or is there something truly ancient and hungry out there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've ever had a strange encounter, I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on the world's most terrifying mysteries. Stay safe and keep your lights on tonight. Goodbye for now.